Xing goes to Xingang Hospital to discuss a partnership with Dr. Li, but he doesn't show up. Knowing this, Han Ting invites her to a dinner where Dr. Li will be present. At the dinner, Han Ting introduces Xing, highlighting her company's strengths and talent, ensuring she makes a good impression. He also arranges for the executives to add her on WeChat, elevating her status. After dinner, Han Ting drives Xing home, and she is excited about meeting influential people. Han Ting, however, reminds her that simply adding someone on WeChat doesn't mean they are friends. In business, value is what matters. He advises her to focus on product development and hire an experienced salesperson for business matters. Xing agrees, realizing she has been doing sales work despite her strength in software development. As Chinese New Year approaches, Su Zhizhou thoughtfully prepares gifts for every Xingchen employee, including a special set of cosmetics for Li Li. One employee, unhappy with just receiving a pillow, checks Xing's gift and finds it's just a lumbar pillow. Li Li also receives many gifts from Yi Xiao. As Xingchen prepares to close for the holiday, Xing gives each employee a large red envelope to enjoy the new year, though she stays to work overtime. Han Ting also gives Xing a gift, a painting resembling a brilliantly shining starry sky, joking that it reflects her unclear thinking. After Han Ting leaves, Xing carefully examines the painting and finds it orderly and clear, contrary to his joke. Meanwhile, Han Ting's grandfather returns from Hainan, bringing life back to the house. Zheng Di also visits. As an old family friend, it's evident that Han Ting's family likes her and sees her as a potential granddaughter-in-law. Li Li arrives at her mother's house with New Year gifts and calls her mother. However, her mother criticizes her for the fancy outfits in her social media posts, claiming they attract bad intentions. She warns Li Li about being deceived by sweet-talking men and recalls her father's past misdeeds. Overwhelmed by her mother's harsh words, which she has heard all her life, Li Li decides not to face more negativity. She leaves the gifts at the door and drives away. On New Year's Eve, Xing is still working tirelessly. Feeling hungry after a long day, she goes out to find a place to eat. Most restaurants are closed, and a hotel only accepts pre-ordered tables for the new year. In a difficult spot, Xing feels relieved when Yi Xiao appears. The hotel is under his management, and he instructs the staff to prepare some special dishes for Xing, all free of charge. He immediately messages Han Ting. At that moment, he is on the balcony looking at a family photo and reminiscing about his deceased parents. Xing's mother calls him, saying she can't find Xing and asks if he knows where she is. Han Ting reassures her mother to wait at Xing's apartment entrance and rushes out to find her himself. When Han Ting arrives, he takes Xing home. At her apartment entrance, Xing's parents are waiting and invite Han Ting to join them for dinner to show their gratitude. Inside, Han Ting notices the stray cat he and Xing found together 10 years ago. Han Ting holds the cat while Xing chats with him on the sofa, as her parents make dumplings in the kitchen. Watching them, Xing's parents think they look good together. Her mother wonders if Han Ting and Xing might be a good match, but her father cautions her not to get her hopes up. Meanwhile, Li Li is at a nearby cafe, where she orders some desserts. Bored, she posts on social media. Su Zhizhou, at home and unsure how to wish Li Li a happy new year, sees her post and recognizes the cafe from the logo on her coffee cup. He decides to send her hot dumplings. When Li Li receives the delivery, she is thrilled, initially thinking Yi Xiao sent it. But when Su Zhizhou calls, she feels a bit disappointed, as she hadn't expected the meal to be from him. Han Ting and Xing go for a walk. Seeing Xing working overtime on New Year's Eve, Han Ting decides to transfer Xingchen's second-half funding to her early, encouraging her to keep up the hard work. He also suggests moving Xingchen's office to Dongyang, offering a rent discount. Zheng Di arrives with a bouquet of flowers, pretending to thank Xing. She sees a painting Han Ting gave Xing and is stunned. Li Li notices Zheng Di's reaction and senses something is up. After Zheng Di leaves, Li Li and Su Zhizhou quickly research the painting. It turns out to be Starry Plains, a piece worth 7 figures by a famous artist. Xing is shocked to learn that the painting Han Ting casually gave her, commenting it was as chaotic as her working style, is actually incredibly valuable. Su Zhizhou receives a return gift from Li Li, a health checkup card, which makes him very happy. Li Li and a female colleague discuss a bag she wants but can't afford. Su Zhizhou takes note, and a colleague secretly sends him a picture of the bag. Although the bag is extremely expensive, Su Zhizhou decides to buy it for her. Li Li and Su Zhizhou take on HR duties, interviewing many candidates. Among them, they recognize Huang Weiwei, who replaced Ji Xing at Guanghua Company after Xing Di fired her. Su Zhizhou asks her some routine questions, which she answers smoothly and intelligently. He confidently promises good benefits and bonuses for high performance. Huang Weiwei promptly resigns from Guanghua with an aggressive attitude, a stark contrast to her previous obedience. Xing Di complains to Han Ting about this incident. Meanwhile, Han Ting has discovered several issues at Dongyang Company, including the finance manager embezzling funds and taking kickbacks. With solid evidence, Han Ting swiftly replaces many staff members, promoting the low-profile Wang Chong to finance manager and announcing Lu Ping as the new director of the product department. Han Ting then invites Chen Ningyang from Hanhai Technology and Lu Ping for a meeting. He instructs them to communicate while maintaining confidentiality for safety. Han Ting aims for a powerful alliance to fulfill his promises quickly. Xing Di, who previously collaborated secretly with Dongyang's competitor, now avoids them due to Han Ting's return. However, their long-standing relationship makes it difficult to sever ties completely. Upon hearing about Han Ting's innovative measures, the competitor hopes Xing Di will provide more insider information. Su Zhizhou spends a significant amount of money to buy a bag Li Li admired, planning to invite her for dinner. Unexpectedly, he sees Li Li already carrying that bag. Female colleagues surround her, enviously praising her boyfriend's generosity and noting that the bag is sold out, with only fakes available online. Su Zhizhou breaks out in a cold sweat, realizing he has bought a fake one. Fortunately, he hasn't given it to her yet, avoiding a potentially embarrassing situation. Lin Jia is planning to open a bar and is writing a business plan in a cafe when he coincidentally meets Xiaomeng, who is checking out the location. Each encounter makes Xiaomeng feel awkward, but Lin Jia eases the tension by giving her several gifts. Xing Di secretly approaches Ji Xing's supplier, instructing him to delay the delivery of essential 3D printing materials. The supplier, troubled, complies under the pressure of Xing Di's influential grandfather's name. Li Li notices the delayed materials severely impacting their work progress. Yi Xiao, who is giving her a ride, overhears her troubles. Yi Xiao knew the supplier and contacted him, securing a promise to deliver the material within a month. When Li Li learns of Yi Xiao's help, she playfully scolds him for stepping in, worried she might become more dependent on him. Despite her playful scolding, her face shows sweetness. Yi Xiao asks Han Ting about his plans for the raw materials issue. Han Ting believes that facing difficulties early in her startup journey will help Ji Xing find solutions. He invites Xing Di for a meal and bluntly tells her to stop scheming against others. Han Ting's presence commands respect, and Xing Di, initially claiming she wants to teach Ji Xing a lesson for poaching her employees, backs down under Han Ting's sharp gaze, promising not to interfere further. Qiu Zi visits Yi Chen's house to cook. Each time she sees him, her eyes are filled with affection as she tries to impress him. She even confesses her feelings, but Yi Chen, still recovering from his breakup with Ji Xing, isn't ready for a new relationship. Han Ting arranges for Ji Xing to learn from the most experienced professor in the 3D printing industry. Ji Xing takes every opportunity to learn about technology and management. A few days before their experiment review, the 3D printer breaks down while everyone is preparing for the inspection. Ji Xing and Han Ting are having lunch at the university cafeteria when they receive a call from the company. Ji Xing panics since this is their first time submitting a finished product and the printer broke down. Han Ting drives her back, offering constructive advice along the way. He points out that critical issues stem from everyday management flaws and reminds her to be strict with rewards and punishments. Ji Xing hesitates because she considers her employees like family and is reluctant to fire anyone. At the board meeting, members from Han Ting's cousin's faction intentionally bring up the incident to cast doubt on the new investment company. Han Ting suggests giving Xingchen time, as the agreed deadline hasn't yet arrived. Facing constant pressure, Han Ting directly takes full responsibility for any adverse effects from the issue. Xing and Li frantically make calls, hoping to borrow a printer from another company. After many attempts, Xing finally reaches a company willing to lend them a printer. Despite the distance, Xing arranges for Su Zhizhou and Li to fetch the printer overnight.